Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie Marie of J Marie Booklet. So today I'm making a video about how to keep your desk organized as a unit secretary. So as a unit secretary, you are responsible for maintaining organization and communication within your unit, and your desk is a hub of activity and must always be kept tidy. And here are some organizing tips that I have for you. The first one is to invest in a desk organizer or two. So now, of course, you won't spend your own money. You'll have your manager order this for you if you don't have it already. But invest in a desk organizer or two. This will help keep important papers and materials sorted and within reach. So in the ICU, we had this, and we didn't have this. Well, we did. We kind of, it was one of the stand-up ones, but it was like behind the computer. It was like to the side behind the computer on the med surge floor. But in the ICU, it was like right there next to the computer, next to the wall. And but invest in, have them invest in a desk organizer. So, keep important papers, material within reach. So on this one, we kept like the dietary forms, we kept phone numbers, things like that. Some of the stuff we had in ICU, we had it taped to the wall. Like, so some of the numbers to our sister floor, like over just in that area, we had like the doctor's phone number, the intensivist, we had the intensivist schedule taped to the wall. So we had a lot of stuff within reach because every month the intensivist schedule would change. Things like that, anesthesia, any surgeries that were going to be performed. We always had that within reach. We had the anesthesiologist, the surgeon, we had their phone number within reach. Second thing is to make sure that all surfaces are clear and free of clutter. This includes the top of your desk, computer monitor, and keyboards. So if you see in this video right here, the secretary has post-it notes. We had that as well. We had post-it notes, and that was just like for passwords, codes to like the dietary, any room that was locked that needed a code. I think I was the only one that always knew the code to the break room because we never closed our door to our break room, even though we were supposed to. We always just kept it propped up with a chair. And when it would close, I was literally the only one that knew the code. And I'm like, can y'all please write this down? Like, because I'm telling you, they use the secretary for everything. Secretary knows everything. That's literally how it's supposed to be. The secretary knows everything. So we had post-it notes for important things. Like we had another room. It was supposed to be, I think it used to be like our pharmacist sat there, but they end up moving their office somewhere else, and it was just like a lot of files in that room, like a storage room. And every now and then that door would be closed, and they didn't know the code to that one either. And of course, I knew it. So I was like, how do I know all this stuff? But usually, you had post-it notes, things like that for passwords, just things that make it easier for the secretary or anybody who will come to the desk that needs to know something, like important stuff. So if you weren't there that day, if the other secretary wasn't there, you had a float secretary. It will be easy for that secretary to see. Okay, this is the code to, the break room. This is the code to the clean utility, the code to the dirty utility, things like that. So, but yeah, try to keep your area decent. Halfway. Now, of course, when we're getting busy and working, it get a little messy. But you don't want your desk to be. You don't want your workspace to be totally messy. Use trays and baskets to wrangle loose papers. This will help to prevent them from getting lost in the shuffle. So if you see right here, next to the secretary in the video, she has a basket. She has like trays. We had those as well. And that just keeps paper from just getting mixed in with other paper on, because you might grab something, and like, look, you don't want all this paper on your desk, because then you'll grab something that you really need, that really needs to be there in that bin, and it's actually in a patient's folder, in the patient's chart, or vice versa. Something that's supposed to be in the patient's chart and it's actually something that's, you know, unit specific. So always like keep a bin, keep things separate. And then keep a notepad or scrap paper handy. And that's for just jotting down messages and reminder. And this will ensure that, you know, nothing gets forgotten. So like the last video, that's how it was on the med surg floor. That's how the unit looked. In the ICU, this is how it looked. So it was like a desk. There was really, it was just basically like a long table, and it had 3 computers there, and that's what the phone looked like. I mean, like literally, this could be this could be the ICU. Like literally, I think that's the same phone, but and that's the same computer. Like that's literally how it was. But I always keep a notepad and scrap paper handy just for jotting down notes. You know, somebody call and things like that. I'm notorious for that. I always got scrap paper because I'm one of those people. I will forget as soon as I hang up. But you know, but for whatever reason, you know, I know to write down certain things. So like if you give me a phone number, I'll know, oh, that was so and so when they called. Even though I didn't write so and so's name, I wrote that phone number. I remember that. So that's why, you know, it seemed like I always knew what was going on. Like I just like knew everything on the unit because I had that note. I had note paper, and I always had a clean one every day. So just like in this video right here, how she's taking notes, that's how I was. Same thing, you know, someone called and needs to speak to a nurse or a doctor call. You want to take the doctor's name, what nurse they're calling, give a call back number. Same thing with family, things like that. Um, you know, if the family wants, you know, call, wants to speak to the nurse, take their number, had a nurse call them back. Same thing with the doctor. Dietary call up and say, you know, blah, blah, blah. Pharmacy call, lab call. We take calls all day. So it's very important to take notes when you receive a call. And then the last one is to have binders for important paperwork. So what we use binders for in the ICU was for like fax numbers. So I'm here in South Florida, and so there are a lot of hospitals, a lot of skilled nursing facilities, nursing homes, rehab, things like that. It's like so many. And just because you're in one county doesn't mean anything, because it's like all 3 counties is like one county. So Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and Palm Beach County is like literally one county. Like when it comes to the health, I can transfer patients to down a hospital in Miami. Like it's nothing. You transfer a patient to a hospital in Broward. It is literally nothing. Like it's in the one nurse, he described it as the hospitals around here being incestuous, meaning, you know, incest, like, you know, family, and, you know, so he's like, it's incestuous because if you go to another hospital, you're going to meet somebody, you know, like that you used to work with at another hospital. Like that's how it is. So yeah, you go to another hospital that has 10,000 employees, you are literally going to meet probably 10, 20 that you used to work with, or they used to work at the hospital with you. You know, it's like he was like, it is incestuous. That's the word he used. And that's true. That's why so much gossip spreads. So it's like, yeah, you work at another hospital, but you know what's going on at this hospital because you know people. Everybody know everybody. And so we use binders for that because we had so many hospitals, so many skilled nursing facilities, rehab centers. We needed, you know, if we needed medical records from there, we kept that all in a binder. So we had like all the hospitals in their medical records, fax numbers. So we had the hospital number and the fax number, and it was always good. You know, when we needed medical records, when the doctor would put in a request, we would just fill out the form. Like literally, I would just fill out the form, hand it to the nurse. The nurse would have the patient sign it, and then send it over and send it and just fax it. Like I didn't have to call the hospital and, you know, speak to their operator and have them transfer me to the medical records. We already had all that information. Same thing with the skilled nursing facility. Sometimes the patient would get transferred, like they would get discharged from the hospital and admitted to there, and then they didn't get all the paperwork. Something happened, like with case management, they didn't get all the paperwork. And so we would send it over, things like that. It's just so that's what we kept in our binders. We kept that, and it was a lot. And then we kept like literally all the skill facilities. We had their names, like we had what city they were in, their names, because some of them had, you had, let's say you had I love skill facility one, and then they had another location. So they had one in Boynton Beach, and then they had one in Hialeah, and then they had one in Miami. So we had like each name, their fax number, their number, how much, Medicare days, and what they provided, and how many beds, and like that took up a lot. Okay, that took up a lot. We literally had a binder just for that. Okay, so when I tell you binders are important, and I don't know who it was that got all that information, but thank you. Okay, because it made it so much easier. That's why it was just like so easy in ICU, because we had all that information. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we had it also on the other floor too, med surge. So I don't know, someone in case management must have just went around and gave all the unit secretaries the binders, because them binders were old. Now don't get me wrong, that paperwork, that information was old, but all the units had one. So it wasn't just like, the secretary or whoever on this unit had it, but nobody else had it. Each floor had one. So that's what we kept in our binders. So that's why, it was very easy, because we had what we needed at our fingertips. And then, of course, we had stuff in drawers, in the file folders, and we had stuff in drawers. And that was just mainly like paperwork, or like if the computer went down, like we need forms for the patient to sign. Like that. Look, everybody knew what the AMA forms were, because I did not play. They were like, Jackie got the. These people get to talking crazy. Look, I'm leaving. Okay. The nurse trying. I'll go slide that AMA form right in front of the nurse, and they be laughing. They was like, okay, let get their ass out of here, shit. But yeah. So keeping your desk clean and organized, and keeping your area clean and organized, that is like the best thing. It's hard now. Don't get me wrong, when all the doctors come around and nurses and charts everywhere, but I'm telling you, it makes your day go by much. Um, it makes your day easier, because you're able to find everything, and your day goes by faster. So if you have any questions or comments, you can put them below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.